purpose of them playing ball is. So yeah, so it was surprising to me. And I'm trying to get into, man, Carolina is a solid team, and they're proving it again and again. So hey, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do and what Tampa does, because one of those two is gonna win the division. So it's only one
One of
team
those two is going to
from
win the division.
yeah, it's
Absolutely.
only one team from that division is going to the playoffs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Bear with me for 2 seconds.
Yeah, and
Because
and so in my opinion, you got the NFC South and the NFC East are going to be the two divisions from the NFC that only send one team to the playoffs. It's going to be a battle for that. It's going to be a battle in the South. The East, if things go the way that they on paper should go, it won't be a battle. But if Philly doesn't get it together, they're gonna wind up in a possible dogfight with somebody who they didn't expect to be in it with. So I don't know what Philly's problem is. I don't know if some people say it's the coaching, some people have said it might be the Super Bowl hangover. Others are saying it's team chemistry is out of whack. But I think it's a little bit of coaching, particularly the OC, and also other teams, as they do, other teams have gotten better and they're giving the Eagles their best because they want to knock off the champ. So you always have to take that into consideration. If you're playing who's supposedly the best, we know each year is a different team. Each year is different. But if you are the defending champs, meaning you won last year, I'm gonna give you my best to show you, to show myself, and to show everybody else that hey, we're the ones who should win it all this year. So if you're going up against the best, you're gonna generally try your best. So I think that's also being overlooked with the Eagles as far as they getting the best from everybody and some
let's talk
playoff.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that because I got to move that down there because I know that's why that echo is coming in. You have the Bears who are now at the top of the division, and you were saying that and I believe you're giving them that. You're saying that the Panthers are 2 years early.
Mm-hmm.
No one was even saying that the Bears were 1 year early or 2 years early. It's like we're now having to take them seriously after that week 3 loss, and then they've been on that run. And so
their run will do it.
the run will do it. And I've always said this, and this is from a franchise perspective and a television perspective. I've always said that regardless of how the Cowboys are doing, and you see this with Odell Beckham Jr. Regardless of how the Cowboys are doing, whether it be good or bad, that is the week that a professional football player, the week leading to the Cowboys, is the week that a professional football player, if he has not been focused all season, he's going to focus that particular game to face the Cowboys. And the other game that he's going to focus is if the other two games from a regular season perspective is a division rival that got the best of him the game before and a defending champion. So with that being said, the Eagles are now sitting in that spot. And I say that about Dallas because everyone knows that Dallas is going to be on TV. Everyone knows that you have one great play, it can send you into superstardom. And it actually make you a check. So everybody's always focused when they play Dallas. It's just like one of those things. And then when you become the defending Super Bowl champion, you also become that focus of the week. And the Bears, even though they're on a run, most definitely those young bucks found themselves against the Eagles team with, I won't necessarily say they have their backs against the wall, but they got pushed up against the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
They got pushed up against the ropes, and that rope-a-dope ain't looking too good. It don't look, that rope-a-dope they doing up against the ropes don't look very strategic at all. Like, no, y'all up against the ropes. And I don't know if they're going to make it out. But that was strange. That was very strange to see them not be able to bounce back against the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears have bought in hook, line, and sinker with what Johnson has brought, and also the Bears. Hey, it's a 9-game winning streak, but the Bears are ahead of schedule, and the Bears are playing with house money. Anything that if they lose out the rest of it, it's like, dang, that's bad. We hate to see it happen, but no one predicted a 9-game winning streak from the Bears in the way. Nobody expected them to win as many games as they have. So they've already accomplished more than they were expected to.
They are literally sitting. They kind of sitting in the position we sitting in, because the Bears are, if they blow a tire and don't make it, I think they'll make the playoffs. I really do. They really have to really blow a tire. But if they don't go far in the playoffs and don't do anything, you are now looking at, oh my goodness, what are they going to be next year?
Right.
You're already going to set the schedule up, set marquees up, set games up, because they have earned that with this 9-game winning streak. I think this run that Dallas is on, and it's hyperbolized, and we'll get into it. I think they shot themselves in the foot so early in the season with this hill they have to climb. You're really like, oh my goodness, okay, if they get the signings done, what are they going to do next year? So, and I'm saying all that to say, they have already they've built themselves. The Bears have built that young team, has built themselves a 2026 Heisman hype type expectation.
You see them with the 5. You'll see. I think the top teams always get 5 national games.
You're gonna see them with the 5 national games.
You'll see them those 5 games. Yeah,
you're gonna see them. They're gonna have a Monday night. They're gonna have a Sunday night. You're going to see them get that type of marketing, most definitely. Now we have another. Yeah, based upon the record, Stranger Things. I'm going to say Houston, even though not even just based upon the record, Houston's defense. We were talking Denver's defense.
Yeah.
Houston defense is real, and they stepped up to the plate
again.
Stroud came back, didn't have a great game, but he's building himself back up and getting back in tune. And wow, just beating the Colts, and it kind of showed you. And the Colts better forget about this game too, because the Colts are one of those teams that, even we talked about it, I believe it was last week, maybe a week before. If you all didn't catch that episode, make sure you go back and catch it. We didn't really see traveling far because of the experience, right. And they can get caught. And even though it was a great game that reminded you of the game that they had, was it last year? I think it was last year in the playoffs, maybe 2 years ago. The competitiveness that they have in the AFC South. I truly believe that Colts kind of exposed themselves to getting caught. you know, and they might not want to see someone like Kansas City in the final seed playing them because they might get caught.
Yeah, the Colts a few weeks ago had only had one loss. Now they've got 4.
Exactly.
And the Texans are putting me in the mind of the Ravens of 2000. The offense is, they could do something. They got somebody who might be able to make a play. They got a quarterback who's up and down, but they got a defense that just suffocates anybody. When they're on, they can suffocate anybody. They can stop the run. They can stop the pass. They're fast. They're physical. They put a pounding on quarterbacks. They take you down to being one-dimensional. And when they really tighten their vice, you're no-dimensional because your running game and your passing game is not working.
Right.
So there's a possibility if they do make the playoffs, they could upset somebody and I say upset because their offense of theirs is not, nothing pretty to look at. But if they can keep you 17 or less, force a turnover or 2, they can beat you. Whoever you are, they can beat you because their defense has shown that it can clamp down on anybody. And I mean, and it's strange looking at a team win this way because the way they try to make it an offensive game and a passing game league, you see defense again. Defense is Warren Sapp said, people like to say defense wins championships. Sapp said that defense gives you a chance to win championships. And because of that defense, they've got a chance. They've got a chance. Yeah. So, and hey, you might need to think about, I can't remember his name, head coach. And I know his name is on the tip of my tongue now.
Well, Houston.
Drawing the blank. Yeah. Drawing the blank.
San Francisco, DeMario,
DeMeco Ryans.
DeMeco Ryan, right.
Yeah. He might have, if they keep this up, his name is going to be thrown in there for Coach of the Year also. He could be thrown in there.
We gonna get into that because that's something. Boy, you know what? We might say that because that Coach of the Year.
Yeah, they fighting it out.
The Coach of the Year, and I don't want to segue too much, but the Coach of the Year, the MVP, they are really fighting it out.
Yeah.
And that kind of shows no one is running away with this thing. Like this is this is NFL. This is probably as close you can get to NFL parity.
Mm-hmm.
9-3 can tumble, 8-4 can tumble, and 7-6 can rise.
Yeah, 4-8 can make a run. Cincinnati.
4-8 can make a run. Cincinnati, they got Cincinnati thinking, they can make a run. So it's really something to think about, and that was a part of that Stranger Things. But I want before I go off of that, it is amazing to see that I'm going to say they're the top 2 defenses, Houston and Denver. When was the last time you saw, and I'm just going to take this off play and name, but when was the last time you saw a defense have 2 cornerbacks, not 2 cornerbacks, but the 2 cornerbacks on each team pretty much be the cornerstone of their defense? Meaning, it's almost like I can take that side away, and everybody else, if you do your job, we in good standing because Derek Stingley Jr. and PS2 Patrick Surtain II, they're handling business.
Yeah, when you got that, those 2 corners do that, that gives you 9 other players that you can say, hey, I think we're gonna send 2 extras in there to go hunt.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it reminds me of, like when you said the defense is built around a defense that seemingly is built around the corners. It reminds me of Marty Schottenheimer when he was in Cleveland, when he had the dog pound, and they had Dixon and Minifield. That defense was built around those 2 guys locking you up.
Lock you up.
And
I thought. See, the Pittsburgh Steelers have such good players. It's hard to give Woodson his props, but I believe Woodson was like that for 2 of those Pittsburgh defenses, most definitely.
Hmm.
But
I'm talking about as far as having 2 of them, because Houston has 2 of them that can do it.
Houston actually does have 2 of them that can do
they got 2. Yeah.
Houston, you're right. Houston has 2 of them that can do it. You're right. That frees up 9. Like, you don't even high safety. Okay, from that standpoint, because I was thinking Denver, Houston, but Houston, yeah, they have 2. They have 2 that can actually do it.
Yeah,
and I'm talking about play. They got 2.
Yeah, I mean, when your corners can take out both receivers without help, it frees up your whole defense to run amok. And that's what Houston's doing. And Denver has a good secondary also. We know that. And I take another team, the defense, and we'll go back to where we are. That's like that. It's physical, and they're young, and they are ahead of schedule. New England. New England is fast and physical. I mean, those three teams with their defenses can cause some headaches once the playoffs start. And I would not be a bit surprised if one of those 3 was to take it, was to either win it or not even win it, if they got to the Super Bowl. And the next thing you know, the league decides, hey, let's tinker with the rules a bit, because hey, people aren't scoring as much as the average or the passerby fan want to see. Because whenever defense gets the advantage, the league likes to go in and start tinkering with the rules to wait a minute. We can't let them. Hey, let's start calling PI a little more. Let's start telling them, hey, you can't jostle down the field. No hand play. You can't do this. They like to do things to handicap the defense, because the passerby fans and the casual fans just want to see scoring.
The cycle is definitely cyclical.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this. You didn't mention anyone in the NFC like that.
I think all the NFC defenses, the good ones, I don't think they.
The one that they talk about the most is in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and they're having some issues.
So my point is, you catch all those great offenses that they talk about over in the NFC, playing around with them boys in Houston, Denver, and New England, and you say one of them make it to the Super Bowl. They're going to believe that they don't have to change the rules when, hypothetical thinking, or George Pickens can meet up with one of them cornerbacks, cross your face, and make it happen. Then they might make George Pickens look very human. They might make Puka and Devontae look very human. And when they do that, Tank is right. The NFL gets a little upset, and they start changing the rules.
Remember, they started calling things a little. They didn't. They started being a lot more strict with the rules when the Patriots were putting hands on the greatest show on turf. All of a sudden, the emphasis was back on 5 yards, 5 yards. It got to the point where you can't. We don't. If it's 6 yards, we throwing the flag. If you hit him hard, we're gonna throw a flag. He's a defenseless receiver. He was trying to catch the ball. Now you can't. We don't want you to hit him hard. If you hit him hard, it's gonna be a flag.
Remember, it was that 99. It was that 99 NFC Championship 10-6 that really started making them look at it. The Bucks. The 99 Bucks said we didn't really like that.
What was it? Something like 13-9?
13 to 6. It was like 10-6, and it was the last pro. Ricky Pro got that last in the corner. I mean, and barely got that.
Yeah.
Feet down type touchdown. So they started really watching in. So most definitely. Now let's switch gears a little bit, and because there's some bigger news, but we're gonna get to this big news. I don't even see why it's big news, but Lane Kiffin, unless you've been hiding under a rock.
Or smoking one.
Hey, you know what? If you were smoking one, you probably knew he was gonna choose LSU.
Yeah.
You had to meditate on that one. But at any rate, Lane Kiffin chooses LSU as his next destination for 2026. Feels like he is the next person in line to bring that football program, back to its glory days. And I don't even say glory days because they're not that far behind. You know what, 2-3 years removed, maybe 4?
5.
About 5? Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad since they were dancing in the White House. So back to that glory days, and a lot of people. I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm going to let you talk about it first. But a lot of people are just wondering, leaving Ole Miss. And he has his 11-1 season and continues to have his 11-1 season. Probably will be more than likely with 11-1 record, making it to the playoffs and seeing if he can move them a little further onto a possible national championship. And they say he's doing it by utilizing the portal. And if he goes to LSU, he doesn't have to utilize the portal. They'll just come to him, and he can really have all of that crop of great athletes out of Louisiana and people who just want to play for LSU at his, hands reach and just get him. So what do you think? Do you think he did Ole Miss wrong by leaving?
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to tell a man, hey, you're wrong for taking $91 million. It's kind of hard to tell a coach that. I think the NCAA is wrong because you shouldn't be able to poach coaches while the season's still going on. And I know there's recruiting going on, but I just think that it's wrong that you can do that. And then a guy leaves because you don't want him, because you don't want him still there working, but he's also working for the ops, as they like to say, because they're going against a conference rival. He's leaving, he's staying in the conference, but he's going to a conference rival. So he's recruiting, and it's messy if you let him do both. And it's also messy the fact that the NCAA allows that to happen. Me personally, the way I look at Lane Kiffin is the way that I looked at Bobby Petrino. Because Bobby was at Louisville one day talking about, yes, we're going all the way with Louisville. Next thing you know, The next less than 12 hours later, he was suey because he gone to Arkansas. I mean, just like that. No, he was with the Falcons, and he said, and Arthur Blank asked him. He said, yes, shook his hand, said, yes, you have a coach. He went and got on a red eye, and the next morning, before the sun came all the way up, he was doing suey in Arkansas. And that's Lane Kiffin. Lane's been all over the damn country. Lane, you remember Lane used to drag his daddy Money Kiffin around to every job he got.
Mm-hmm.
Money had retired. He said, Dad, come with me to USC. Come to me to
Tennessee.
Yeah. Like, son, I'm 90 years old. I don't need to be doing all this. I mean, Lane is a good coach from X's and O's. I will give him that. But his personality traits, his lack of loyalty, and I don't trust him. Because if somebody comes knocking at the door in 2 years and says, hey, let's say it's the
Las Vegas Raiders next year.
Yeah, he goes back to the Raiders. Or let's say
says the Bucks. Says the Falcons.
Yeah. Let's say if the Steelers say, hey, Lane, you want to come here?
Says the Steelers. Yeah.
The only thing that would keep Lane is NFL coaches don't make $91 million. That's the only thing that could keep Lane from leaving.
But I'm pretty sure he got a buyout.
Yeah, he got a buyout. I mean,
so he can make 44 and be.
Yeah, I think that. Again, I think the NCAA is wrong for how they had the calendar and everything set up for that. But I also think it was wrong of him to be negotiating a deal in the middle. And dude, we Ole Miss. We're in the college playoffs. We're in the top 5. We're going to the playoffs. We're 11-1. We got a legitimate shot of possibly winning the championship, and you doing this. And then the fact that he didn't face the guys, he didn't come and talk to them and tell them, hey, LSU offered me $91 million. That's what it boils down to, $91 million. They offered me $91 million, so I got to go.
You think they're going to let him down? You think they're going to play for him? You think he's going to be able to motivate him for the rest of the year?
Yeah. But there's also the thing, I'm not sure how true it is, but they're saying he was taking all his staff too. So if they don't have coaches, how are they going to go? Or what are they going to do? I mean, if enough of those guys, the key coaches leave, you got a bunch of position coaches who don't know all the ins and outs of everything because they're generally focused on their position. So now you got the secondary coach because he didn't get taken. Lane didn't take him. So you got the secondary coach got to coordinate the defense now. Or the offensive line coach, he didn't go. So now he's got to call the offense. It's really a disservice to the kids of anybody else. If anybody's really going to pay for it, it's the kids. And I think it sucks because when is Ole Miss going to be 11-1 again? Really?
I'm going to put it to you like this. Ole Miss, just like any other school that recruits like Ole Miss, because how does it go? 2020, 5-5. I think 2021, he jumped up to 10-2. 2022, they went back to 8. And then he had those 3 10-2s, and now 11-1. Basically, Ole Miss is going to be 11-1 again, probably during the same time frame that the Ole Misses of the of college football become 11-1 when they have a lot of upperclassmen and seniors.
Yeah, every 4 years.
Every 4 years. And I'm saying all that to say, why are we even hyperbolizing Lane Kiffin when this is what happens?
Yeah.
when you keep your classes. You know, I think everyone, with the exception of the schools who have to reload every year because they're losing sophomores, losing juniors to the NFL. They recruit so well, they lose sophomores because that person is just one tick lower than another good recruit, or that freshman who was told he was going to come in and start didn't beat out the sophomore who was lied to and said the same thing the year before. You know, they start going in the portal, and that's how Ole Miss was getting players. That's how Colorado gets players. So all it is I think the media has done what they've done many years before. This is not a new strategy, and you're literally hyperbolizing the coach for having a bunch of upperclassmen that are doing what upperclassmen do.
Yeah, just like Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt had a season this year, and it's like, oh, we got all these juniors and seniors. Hey, okay, and now okay, it's gonna be another 4 years probably.
Another 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah,
but that's what they do.
Yeah, like Wake Forest, that's what they do.
That's just what they do.
Every 4 or 5 years, they get 8 or 9 wins. And okay, well, we know they're gonna be back in the cellar again next year.
In the cellar, you gotta go find them. You know, Kentucky, UCF. You know, we know it's just I like I said, I'm gonna close on Lane Kiffin because he signed a $91 million. I'm happy for him and his family, but at the end of the day, for me, it's just a bunch of hyperbole. They just hyped him up. Now, on to this question.
Before we leave the state of Louisiana, quick shout out to Marshall Faulk, who became the head coach at Southern University. I generally am not a big fan of colleges going and just hiring ex-players, even if they are Hall of Famers, because most of the time they don't. It's just the name that they're doing it for. But Faulk, yes, he had 1 year coaching the running back to Colorado, but that isn't why I would say, okay, he's a good hire, or he's a hometown hero. He's a home state hero. And Faulk is one of those truly intelligent players, former players, who knows all aspects of the game.
Football mind.
Yes, he has. If he had that skill set, he could have been a quarterback because he knows everything about the offense. So I do think that he's the type who can come in and actually coach and get things right for Southern. So, shout out and congratulations to Faulk. I think he's the exception to those guys. A trampoline.
Like Southern does well. Southern beats Grambling in the Bayou Classic. San Diego State calls. You think Marshall won't take that phone call?
I think he'll take a phone call, especially if San Diego State. If Mama call, generally you going home. If Mama call, you got to come home. That's just what you do. Steve Spurrier did the same thing. The guy had Duke winning. Florida said, "Hey, that's cute what you doing up there in the ACC with Duke, but it's time for you to come on home. Time for you to come home." Yeah,
right. Oddly enough, the Bucks didn't call him. He went to Washington. But anyway, I'm just wondering, how they call. Speaking of national championships, do you think a non-Power 5 school will ever win? And the thing is, will ever win a national championship? I'm going to answer this, and I'm going to say, with the new playoff format, you could probably field a team full of upperclassmen that could make a run. And what I mean by that is They probably got there, got into the playoffs. A good surprising football team, and they're healthier because they played less competition that beat them down. A whole lot of things have to happen. So I'm going to say in the playoff system, yes. If we were still voting, heck no.
Yeah, voting playoff system. I'm not sure about. They have to be a very special elite school, somebody who really got a whole bunch of Power 5 prospects who somehow slipped through the cracks because, hey, we need you to have a 2.1 GPA. You only had a 2. It would have to be people who are supposed to be playing at the top schools in the country.
Yeah, you have to have like a Josh Allen, like, and it starts right here too. I didn't mean to cut you off. You probably have to have like a Josh Allen caliber quarterback playing at that level with some guys around him. You can quarterbacks in college can take you some places if you play very well. Quarterback in college can lift.
You're gonna have to have a lot of those guys all over the field. Plus, you're gonna have to have depth. You're gonna have to have depth. Your third string is gonna have to be capable of starting. Because when I was at Georgia Southern, I mean, we played Florida State and it was 10-0 at halftime, and that was a big deal. Florida State trotted out their second and third team guys, and it was like, okay, you the third stringer running back. Why you look just as good as the guy starting? Well, I was a parade All-American. Yeah, I was too. Well, everybody on the squad was a 1 and 2 time parade All-American. Our depth is like this because we can only play 11 at a time. If we could put everybody on the field at once, we could do that.
Yeah, so, we playing all of our all county.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? All state.
Yeah. So
playing all our guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to have some serious depth and some luck, and you got to have a coach who really and truly knows how to scheme and take advantage of any weakness that they can find, or got to discover weaknesses in that team that nobody else did.
You know what? And I think also it would have to be, you mentioned Georgia Southern, it would have to be one of those perennial programs that just be dogging everybody out.
Yeah.
In their league.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's a mentality to that.
Yeah.
But you're right. That depth is, you can see it. You can see it.
So I don't think this is gonna happen. I don't think anybody's gonna get built and constructed that way to take on the top teams.
Now, with that,
and you got to factor in NIL.
And that's what I'm saying. NIL and the portal is a gift and a curse to that depth too.
Yeah.
So they might, like I said, the stars got a line, and you might have to catch them. You know, you might have to catch them. Is Boise State Power 5?
Yeah, they're in. Is it Conference USA or did it change? But yeah, but they're P5. But you would need one of those. You would need a team to do like they used to do.
Yeah, like they, and that's what I'm saying. Like you got to have one of them types to run.
Yeah.
Because I think what I see is who's in there. I think they're Power 5, but they're kind of like in that North Texas.
North Texas, Tulane,
all of them.
Like that. Yeah.
You got to catch them. You got to catch them on that run. Now, back to our favorite subject as we move into the second half hour. We're a little bit over the second half hour of the No Jazz Show. You are watching the No Jazz Show live on Facebook at DUPONTNIVEK in the locker room. Also in No Jazz Show. Also on YouTube. I hope it went live. You know, because I'm not gonna do it again. Okay, good. Shout out to the technical team. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to face them lower thirds though. But anyway, we're gonna get to that next week. Now, you all watching the No Jazz Show. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share as you join us live and as we move into this second hour. And thank you all for joining us. Definitely on Twitch, TikTok, and where else? And the Riverside platform. Cannot forget that, you know. And hopefully you all are tracking these. And don't forget for me and Tank's birthday, and we are taking belated birthday presents. Go to the No Jazz Show and subscribe, please. I want to see that thing jump. We need.
Just subscribe. That's all we're asking.
Hit the button. Let's hit the button. Y'all, just be that girl that take the phone number and never call you. It's all good. We just want the name and the context. You know?
Yeah,
that's all we want.
We get number. Okay, can I get you? No, I'll take yours though. Okay.
Yeah.
You walk away. Okay, she got it. And as soon as you get out of sight, she gobbled up the paper and throw it on the ground.
Hey boy, man, don't even talk to me about them days, man. Don't even talk to me about them days because I really you know what? I used to have the ability. I think that was a skill set. I probably should have put that in my resume somewhere. I would be able to remember all my boys and mine numbers we got that night. I'm talking, it used to be like 5.
Me too. Yeah, me too. I can
remember. What you got? I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. I got all of them, boy. You know, because you just, I think, depending on where we went, but you know, I think our area code was like 813. So you eliminate them 3. We good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Purple shirt? Oh yeah, we got that. But anyway, on to this topic. Wow. I think you touched on it a little bit. Go ahead.
I gotta say, then every now and then you might run back into him a couple of weeks later. Oh, I'm sorry, I lost your number. No, you did. You threw it on the ground.
Threw it on the ground.
Oh, I was gonna call you, but I lost the number.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm with your girl now. That's where I'm from. Yeah. Or so you just gonna holler at my friend? You try to talk to me? Anyway, I can go on and on. But back to Philadelphia, man. Back to Philadelphia. Is there a problem, coaching problem? Is it a coaching issue?
I think it is. Not just schematically, but also being able to be in touch and having your finger on the pulse of what's going on to get it rectified. And I think it's more so that than anything as far as X's and O's. They got to figure out some way of reining in AJ Brown to get him to get focused on the task at hand. Because you see, they lost last week, but he had 10 catches, 130 some yards, and some tutties. He ain't got nothing to say. He ain't tweeting out nothing about I would rather have the win than those stats.
Definitely not doing that.
Yeah. So, and everybody's talking about what's wrong with Saquon. The 2,000 yards was not something that's normal. He's on pace for an average back this year. So I mean, it's like, okay, he's back to being a normal back. He's not propping the loans, but they aren't calling the same plays either. And they really need to the league needs to get out of that tush push crap. I'm sorry, but it's ultimately it's coaching, and it's from a psychological standpoint as opposed to X's and O's. And I say that, and somebody who was great psychologically in dealing with the team, Bill Parcells and Jimmy Johnson. If you had a coach that had that kind of mentality, that kind of approach, all of this wouldn't happen. Because there was a reason why those coaches were always able to field a winning team, and once they got things situated, because they were able to push the buttons of every individual and handle each individually accordingly. You from the looks of it, Philly handles basically everybody the same way. You don't handle it. You can treat everybody fairly, but you don't treat everybody equally. Again, you treat everyone fairly, but you will not and cannot treat everyone equally.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem in Philly. Yeah.
And I think a lot of the guys in Philly don't know who gets treated like what, who's supposed to.
Yeah.
I think they have that confused.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the Philly fans in the chat, doing all that cursing people out like y'all so smart. You know.
Yeah,
Anyway, I'm about to give you some grace with my answer, so don't do all that.
Go ahead.
Great. You know, you go ahead and finish, Tank.
Yeah, that's it. If the coaches need to go back to their bag and handle this from a psychological standpoint, because I don't think anybody knows the pecking order or who's to be handled how. Last year, everything was just clicking. It was just working, and it was like, hey, we ain't got to worry about nothing. This year is different, and you need to know why it's different, how it's different, and how to fix it. Your coach has to do that. Your coach has to do that, because the stuff that they got going on is like little small things. Either you're coaching it or you're allowing it. And at this point, they're allowing it to happen. Because AJ Brown, if he was with some those other two coaches I mentioned, he wouldn't have tweeted that mess out a couple weeks ago. He wouldn't have said those things. He would have been doing a Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined. He would have kept his mouth closed. So the coaches got to take control of their team.
All right. Here's the grace I'm going to give them. And we're going to segue into that next question. The grace I'm going to give them is the same grace I'm going to give Kansas City. I don't think it's the coaching. A lot of people have been, especially the media pundits and all of that, and all the platforms. This is the first time in, or maybe ever, a team has faced both Super Bowl contenders and beat them both within the next season. Shout out to Kansas City Chiefs. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles, who both, and I don't even understand why the media was even saying it, and I'm a Cowboys fan, who both said after they won and lost and won Super Bowl. Last year has nothing to do with this year. So when you all mention that to the Cowboys fans and y'all got them all drinking the blue Kool-Aid, that stuff didn't matter to the real Cowboy fans, because we've been there too. And it's called 1997. 1997 was the year we realized, oh shit, we've been at this about 5 years. We've been getting banged up. About 5 years. We've been on these runs and reloading and having these 20-game seasons for about 5 years. I'm going to say Kansas City 5, Philly definitely a good 4. And
KC 8 years.
KC 8 years. That's hard. And you're asking them to do it again, and you get all hyped up because a team that had it together that week, taking nothing away from the Cowboys, that had it together that week, 2 weeks straight, coming off a bye, beat you 24-21 and 31-28. Nah, we're not gonna do that. There's nothing the coach can do. I mean, he can try to right the ship, get them to figure out how to motivate themselves, but that's a lot. That's a lot of game film. That's a lot of nuances that people get to see. That's a lot of, oh, okay, he likes the swim move coming out of that on that pass rush. Spangola likes to do this blitz. Oh, okay. I mean, y'all have seen it 8 years straight. Spagnola, excuse me. So you're doing a whole lot of playing with what got you there, and until you can beat it, I'm going to continue to do it. With the exception of the tush push. I'm just talking about regular offensive stuff. So it's like, and I'm not saying give up, because you're still, one is in the hunt, one is third. I'm not saying give up, but it's like, you've been on a run. Now, if that run catches up with you this year, breathe. And hope it's not 30 the next time you make a run again. But
right.
But breathe. Just we've been beat up. And that run, and making an example of the 97, that was a wrap. Like you should have started, but you were giving everybody their little victory lap. Let them go on, retire, and ride off into the sunset. Closing credits on the Cowboy movie. But
it takes a lot out of it.
It take a lot, man. And for both teams, that's why I put Kansas City in there. I'm not gonna put it on that coach, man. It's just hard. It's hard to motivate a body and play 20 game seasons that many years straight. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that playoff fatigue is real. Terry Bradshaw and his
both of them missing two. Both teams missing like 2 starting offensive linemen.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, that playoff fatigue is real, not just physically but mentally. Terry Bradshaw in this biography, Passing Through, he stated that after the 79 Super Bowl, he said, hey, we got four championships in 6 years. He said that it takes its toll on you. He said you're tired, not just physically, but mentally. And he said, it's like, hey, we got Buffalo next week. He was like, hey, I don't feel like getting up for Buffalo. I can't get up for Buffalo this week.
Get up for Buffalo.
And he said it takes its toll on you. It's a grind. And we know the physicality of the game and things like that was a lot worse then than it is now. But
absolutely,
it takes a toll. Playoff fatigue is a real thing, but there are also some. I still think as far as with KC, they definitely it's playoff fatigue, and also losing players and never replacing them. Rashee Rice was a good shot in the arm, but he's not enough. I mean,
he's not. Kelsey even has better numbers than he had last year, but
yeah,
you're not getting them the same way. That's why I don't like what the media doing to either one of them, man. Them some long runs.
Yeah, and everybody else gets better also.
everybody gets better. What you should be doing in that instance is, and they still may be doing it. Sometimes you got to be like the Giants and play possum. Okay, we're gonna say around week 6, we're gonna win these 2 easy games we're supposed to win against, the Raiders and the Jets. Everybody else we got to get up for. So by mid season, we're gonna be 2-8, 2-6. Cool. Everybody rested. We'd have been in the hot tub. Everybody, you know, woo. And then bam. So sometimes you gotta play possum. Play possum in the season, especially when you've been on them long runs. Even though the Giants haven't been on a long run, but a cool little 10-6 making the playoffs or 11-5. You know, we're playing 17 games now. Hey, you know you're gonna have a wild card run. You may not get that bye week, so I don't know. You know, I don't know how this, but 20-game season is a long run. Sometimes you may have to finesse those games in season. But anyway, having said that, still we beat that ass. Still, we beat that ass on Thursday night after we beat that ass Sunday. So now we are getting to talk, and like I said, I don't like to hyperbolize, but I am gonna ask this question. Should Jerry Jones in the think tank, or do Jerry Jones in the think tank of the Cowboys deserve to poke their chest out after the showing that they have shown and the trending upward that they've shown, where they have everybody thinking, oh, if they beat Detroit, it end up going on a run. I'm going to get into that a little bit. But does Jerry deserve to poke his chest out for the job that he's done in changing the current outlook of the Cowboys leading into Week 16?
I think he does, and I think that he will, because everyone thought he was crazy when, hey, he didn't pay Micah that money, and he said, and his defense of letting Micah go was he doesn't play the run well. And okay, well, you let your best pass rusher go or your best player on defense go. Okay, but I brought in Clark, defensive lineman, to help stop the run. I brought in Quentin Williams. He's going to help stop the run. And they brought in, I forgot who the other guy was, but they've upgraded that defense, and they are playing better and stopping the run, and it kind of justifies what Jerry said about, hey, we need to stop the run. Well, it's a passing lead. Why are you worried about the run? If they can't run, they have no choice but to pass. Hey, we make them one-dimensional, and I made that trade and got George Pickens, who is arguably the most talented receiver in the NFL. I brought him in, and I got him at a bargain price. I've paired him with CD. Now Dak has two number one receivers now, and we could just start throwing. Now we can do what Cincinnati's doing when Burrow is healthy, with Higgins and Chase. Now we can do that. And I found a running back that I could give. I'd say, hey, you can wear Dorsett's number. Just run well. And he's been productive. So I think he's going to poke his chest out, and I think he's going to be very boisterous in the offseason. You know, if Dallas doesn't somehow make the playoffs, he's going to be, hey, next year's our year. We are ahead of schedule, especially with the in season changes and upgrades that we made, instead of having to, and we got draft capital, and we don't have to go after certain pieces that we would have needed to go after in the draft, because we got them during the season anyway. We don't need a defensive lineman because we got Williams and we got Clark during the season. So that's a draft need we don't have anymore. Now we can go and get another pass rushing linebacker. Or now we can go and get another someone else in the secondary. Now we can go and upgrade the running back position. I mean, so yeah, he's gonna poke his chest out. And he's gonna paint the picture of next year it's really our year. We've already basically gotten the head start on next year because of what the things that were done during this the end season this year. So yeah, he's gonna poke his chest out.
You know what? Here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say. Let's lead in with this because it's the media who puts the battery in the backs of the people on social media who say, "Oh, you can be talking about any subject outside of football. You can be talking politics. We can be talking relationships. We can be talking about is potato pie better than pumpkin pie? Oh, that figures. You're a Cowboys fan." In 3 weeks, and anything can happen because it's the Cowboys. E.g. Stephen A. Smith. You're waiting on us to fall off the cliff. But anyway, shut that up. Yeah, I'm a Cowboy. Shut it up. You know, I haven't. It's not even about wins and losses. It's about a whole lot of other things going on, and we're gonna shut that up, right?
Mm-hmm.
As far as Jerry is concerned, let's look at the whispers. Jerry never makes noise in the offseason. Jerry drafts well, but they don't do anything. Jerry it is. Oh, it's because of how he runs the team. That's why y'all can't win. We haven't really won anything. It's only, I mean, reality is still 6-5-1. Yet, in a matter of a block bye week in the last 3 weeks, he looked brilliant. He literally looks brilliant. He literally looks like, okay, you don't have to question me even when you start seeing hyperbolized free agents go off the board and we're not attacking them anymore. Jared can sit back in his corner and say, no, I don't want to attack them because I need to figure out how to sign the ones we got. Mm-hmm. You know, the thorn in Jerry's side, if this doesn't happen, and he literally can't do anything about it. It really boils down to that man has to see a sheet of paper because I believe he's going to have a better deal to leave than stay. He might have a good enough deal. All right, this deal is good enough. I'm going to stay where I am because I like it here and I know what's going on. Deal. And it's still going to be some money on that table. But somebody going to offer this man some money. And the only thing that people might be mad at Jerry about is having to let George Pickens go. If that happens in the offseason. Guess what, though? Still got 2 first-round draft picks, right? You still got 2 first-round draft picks. So now that you can't keep Pickens, if that is the case, you may have to, just to make a splash, and I don't know who coming out of college, but you may have to fill that void. And that void might have been on a cornerback or a safety or a defensive end to replace Clowney. You know, if this is a 1-year thing for Clowney due to age. So you're still looking good. Yeah, you traded Micah. Micah's having a good season over there in Green Bay. But the psych totals in Green Bay are 32, and the psych totals in Dallas are 28. That's not that far of a margin off. It's really not. And you still have a psych total of 28, and I believe you probably would still be at 28, and you're not stopping the run as well if Michael was here.
Right.
You know, because a lot of people don't realize you stop the run and you deter the run. Meaning, oh, we're going to run on y'all today. But them first 2 drives, you're not really doing anything. We might have to alleviate this for a little while. That's stopping the run. When you your first 10 plays, 20 plays are already pre-drafted on that offensive coordinator and that head coach's play calling list. If 7 of those are run plays and you make him scrap 5,
you're ahead of the game.
You're ahead of the game. And this is what Jerry was saying when he got Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams. Also, Jerry can poke out his chest because there was an argument when you, and I believe that, and I truly believe that it's two sides of this argument, and that is championships, results, playoff results, possible championship results. Green Bay is the only one that kind of has, well, Green Bay is in a better position to do that than the Dallas Cowboys are right now. However, you really wouldn't see the winner of that trade, of the Michael Parsons trade, until 2 or 3 years from now. I believe that's still in play. Nevertheless, Jerry has created an argument about that right now. Who won that? He created an argument right now. You're going to be able to create an argument off the 2 draft picks 3 years from now, see how they do, where Michael Parsons is 3 years from now, and what he did, during his tenure. But you literally can create an argument with what opened that door up to dangle that in the Jets' face and get Quentin, and you already had Kenny from Green Bay. Now you're like, opportunity cost. Which one? And you see Jerry is right now, he's still right, and can poke out his chest and say, I chose to stop the run, and I chose correctly right now. And I'm only 4 sacks as a team from what Micah and the Green Bay Packers are doing. And I do believe that we wouldn't have 32 if Micah was here. And we'd be at 28, still getting gashed. So you can argue that in that who won that draft. And then, even though he's not a part of that argument, because he could have been playing with this dude playing, when you add a great salvage, and I don't even like to call that man a salvage, but when you add the great pickup in Javonte Williams and the steal of George Pickens in that,
he's looking pretty good.
You look pretty good.
He's looking pretty good.
Because Javonte Williams running the ball steadily, George Pickens getting that ball to a guy you can trust and run that slant to keep the offense on the field and not put the defense in harm's way all the time. Because there's people still scoring on them. Let's not get it twisted. They were down 21-0. Let's not get it twisted. Kansas City took the lead and had a game and scored 28. They're still vulnerable, but they make stops that they weren't making. So when you and when you have that type of situation and you throw George Pickens in the mix, who can run a slant and get that third and long, or open it up with CD one-on-one, he may be able to get that third and long and keep the defense off the field and rest it to give you a better chance at making stops when you need to. That's a win. So for all of you who say, oh, y'all doing this and that, and y'all can't get this place and can't get that place because of what Jerry is doing, stop. Because this is what Jerry did.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good right now. He's like, hey, I told y'all I knew what I was doing.
I told y'all I knew football. I told y'all I actually knew football. And what type of stat, taking nothing away from Michael, but what type of stat are sacks?
Hey, they just look good. if they're not translating to wins and constant drive stops, it's just a good look. They just look good.
It just look good. Cool dance. It just look good. You're
as Myles Garrett with incredible numbers this year, gonna probably break the record, but just looks good because it's not translating any kind of wins.
It's a style award, baby. That's all it is. You got dressed up, you put on a bespoke suit, you got in the mirror, and then have no place to go. But you look good. Now, speaking of looking good, we're gonna talk about the things that might not look too good. This is my boy too. Has the end come for Mike Tomlin and the Steelers?
The only reason that I can say that it might not have is because he's got, I think, 2 or 3 years left on his deal, and they don't want to have to pay him the rest of that without him being there. But I do think that some wholesale changes have to be made. And if those wholesale changes are made, he has to show some real improvement. No, he has to show some real improvement next season, either by those changes showing that, hey, they're on the right track, or else they get rid of, because they got to stop shopping at Dollar Tree and want to go to the debutante ball. Yeah, they can't. They got to stop. The pickups they made in the offseason were nice, shiny cars that they still look good, but they don't run the same way anymore. Because Darius Slay, they finally got rid of him today because there was no reason to bring in a 34-year-old cornerback and thinking he was going to start and lock anybody up. They finally got rid of him. They went out and got Adam Thielen. He's automatically the second best receiver on the team. And that's behind DK, and that's probably by this much. So now Aaron Rodgers will have somebody to throw those 2-yard passes to that Arthur Smith is so fond of calling. If Tomlin, the end is here for Tomlin, if he doesn't get rid of the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, and most of the position coaches, because there's no position on the team in which they are excelling. None. He needs to do that other than Boswell kicking. If he doesn't do that, if he's not willing to do that, he's got to go. I mean, I hate to say it because I love him, and I think he's done an excellent job given what he's had to deal with the past few years. Somebody in the scouting department's got to do a better job. They did go out and try to get a quarterback. They used and they ultimately wasted a first-round pick on Kenny Pickett, who was overdrafted because he really wasn't a first-round talent, but he was the best talent to come out of that draft, as he was the only quarterback drafted in the first 3 rounds.
That's the NFL
play. So they needed one, and hey, let's get him. And he turned out to be crap. Needed a feature running back, a workhorse, somebody who could carry the running game. Got Najee in the first round. I was all for it, and that's who I wanted them to get. And Najee turned out to be a Jag, just another guy. 600-yard games in 4 years. You cannot get that. You cannot put up with that kind of non-production from a running back that you picked in the first round who's supposed to help transform your offense. Pickens didn't do what they wanted him to do, but that also comes from the offensive coordinators that he had and from the lack of quarterbacks that he had. Am I going to say that Pickens would have been doing this year with Rodgers what he's doing in Dallas? No, because he still would have been dealing with Arthur Smith's dumbass. So, yeah, he's got to make some hard decisions. If he doesn't make those decisions, the Rooney's need to just say, hey, we're going to say that you decided to step away and take some time away from football. So, and that's going to be the story that we're both going to share to keep to make it amicable. Because they're going to have to do him the same way they did Chuck Noll in 88. When they went, I think the Steelers were 5-11, and they were like, hey, Chuck, hey, this is not good. You need to get rid of this coach, this, in order for us to move forward. Because regardless of how many games that he won in the 70s, he was one of the losingest coaches in the 80s. And Chuck, the first time they called Chuck like that, Chuck said, okay, he got rid of everybody. He did it again, and Chuck said, well, no, it's time. I'm going to go ahead and step aside. It's time. And he told his wife that same year that he stepped down and said, hey, it's a championship team, but I just don't have it in me to get them there. And you saw what happened when Cowher took over. So, I mean, I think that it's safe to say that Tomlin has run his course.
Cowher left off a Super Bowl, didn't he?
He came back one more year and they went 8-8. Then he left.
Then he left. Okay.
Yeah, so I think that it can work, but it's going to be in marital terms, it can work, but they got to go through a whole bunch of counseling and therapy when this season ends in order for the marriage between the Rooney, the Steelers, and Tomlin to work. And they both have to be willing to do the work. He needs to fire them folks. He needs to get rid of those coordinators because James Harrison said the other day, he said he thinks that he never thought that Tomlin was a great coach. He said, I think he's a good coach, but I never thought he was a great coach. And right now he's
looking like
it's
good can be mediocre.
Well, I'm gonna say that he's looking mediocre.
Terrible. I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say this. Coach Mike T and the Black Coalition of America, but we know how y'all get. And I'm gonna get on that subject right after this. The Black Coalition of America with black coaches, black players, and all that stuff. But anyway, if Mike T has the desire to coach football still in him, you know what I'm saying? Like he needs to answer that question first. Do you have the desire to coach football? If he has the desire to coach football, 2 or 3 more years, 4 or 5, whatever the case may be, I think he needs to want to file for divorce amicably. And what I mean by that is, you mentioned Najee, you mentioned George, you mentioned Kenny. You've actually done a facelift. You've had your facelift year. And this is not saying the Steelers are bad. I'm just saying, you've actually had your facelift year and things aren't going so well. But the name Mike T can still land a job and will still be sought after and still be interviewed for something available right after you leave Pittsburgh, not if you're sitting home for a year resting. So my thing is with him, bow out, find another scene while you and Pittsburgh have some years left, because I think and this is hard to say to this degree. I think the George Pickens, like everybody that left, is either not doing anything, and you were right, but George Pickens is making you look like y'all did him wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not even, we know, you all know what was going on internally. You're making it look like, so what if he didn't show up for meetings on time? So what if he was acting like, like football is different from life. You can play a game of football and one Sunday, everything you did can be swept under the rug. One good year can be swept under the rug. That's why a lot of jokers don't like to leave the game, not just for the money. But I think the facelift year for Pittsburgh did not turn out as well as it should have thus far. And while Mike T is still hot, escape and let Pittsburgh revamp, because I think you all need to revamp, because I think Harbaugh is about to get looked at funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cincinnati is looking at their run like, I don't know. And Cleveland is like no one in the AFC North has taken your spot. So this might be a good time. And see, that's probably what was keeping you there. Well, no one in the AFC North is running away with anything, and we're not losing our, no, just let the AFC North retool itself and you not be a part of it. You just not be a part of it. Because I think Lamar Jackson is about to be questioned. Like I said, Harbaugh is about to be questioned.
Burrow needs to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't keep him healthy.
They can't keep him healthy. Like it's like, my bad, y'all. It's like don't. At some point, you're gonna look like the greedy one. I'm staying here because I'm comfortable. I get that part too, but if you still want to coach, let it go. Plenty of jobs out there.
He could end up with the Giants by the end of January.
You can end up with the Giants by the end of January. Now, speaking of the Giants, because I done spoke on Lamar just that much. That's all I want to speak. Because and the reason I say that is Jackson Dart, my man. And I know why you're doing it, but the question is, and I'm gonna pose it the same way the producers. Shout out to Russell Tanker. Hey, is Dart just an untamed horse, or will he always be, or will he always have, that reckless abandon? Yeah. He's gonna always have that reckless abandon, and he better stop. And I'm gonna tell you why. You're not even the size of Scatterbo, and you see him on the sideline playing with pros, and you still running? Like, that's reckless abandon. Your young horse is out for the season, and you still playing with these grown men. Don't do that. What you got to say about that, Tank?
I don't think that's a part of his game is not going to ever leave, but he needs to realize, hey, there's some licks I don't have to take. There's some licks I don't need to take. If I'm trying to get the first down, if it's third and whatever, and I'm on my way to getting the first down, let me get it. If I'm not going to get it, let me slide, or let me step out of bounds. He doesn't have a lot of help offensively, so that's part of it also. But I don't think it's going to ever leave. I think that's just part of his game, and I think that it'll be to his detriment eventually when he's not able to move like that, be it from being injured and trying to still play, or it be age and he can't move around like that. Because I use Lamar as an example because the coaches are saying that he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And you see how terrible he's looked the past 3 games. He's not running around. He's not able to run. He's not able to escape the pocket and make something happen, not just with his legs, but not even with his arm. So his flaws are being exposed now of not being able to play in or out of the pocket because he can't get out the pocket now. And Dart is on that, will possibly end up on that same trajectory of not being able to really play from the pocket or be able to maneuver out of the pocket, set his feet, and make something happen with his arm. Because ultimately, the running around, being able to scramble, that's cute, that's nice, it looks good when it works. But hey, you paid to win, but you also paid to put the ball in playmakers' hands. And if you can't do that because you're running around and you're getting knocked out, you're really not doing us any good. Your career is going to be, as they say, not for long if you keep taking those licks. He needs to be able to, he has those legs. So yes, he needs to use them, but he needs to use them judiciously because just taking off and running and acting like he's 250 pounds is not boding well for him nor the team, because you were drafted in the first round. You're the face of the franchise. We drafted you because you play the most important position in sports, and we put that on you. So we need you to be here and be healthy and be good. You're not going to be either one if you always hurt. He's been to the tent 4 or 5 times this year already.
And you're not even an Indian.
Yeah. So, I mean,
you're not even.
You got to break him in some. He can have some Favre in him, but he's got to learn how to do the other things also.
I'm gonna tell you like this, Dart. I know you're young, and I know you're doing it. Stay off social media. And here's why. Social media has a bunch of experts that live in a microwave. When you start running and all that rah-rah, Justin Fields was getting all those stupid ESPN records. Guess who in a 3-game span in the history of the NFL, he's had more yards against teams that wear blue jerseys. Y'all start listening to that stuff. And then the people start posting and y'all get all caught up in the microwave. Who's tougher? The man ain't nothing but a rookie. Around here at No Jazz, we at least try to, we understand the hype, we understand the moment, but we try to give rookies 3 years before we assess them. And you're playing at a rate where, just so you know, the best ability is availability. And if you can't play, somebody gonna take your spot. And you don't want to be, who was that missed that Super Bowl being the hoorah guy? And now you don't remember him, and he almost had an MVP year for the Philadelphia Eagles. Came from the
Carson Wentz.
Don't you be caught up in the hoorah because you're young. Don't do that. You literally have to. You literally have to stay in the pocket. I don't want to leave the pocket. You literally got to tell yourself, if you're one of those instinctive guys, you got to tell yourself, because it's going to always look pretty. You're going to always outrun somebody in the third quarter who's been chasing after you for 2 quarters. You know, but even that Lamar stuff, slow down. Are you hurt or are you injured? Lamar's not injured. He hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell he hurt. He hurt.
And because he hadn't worked, because he obviously hadn't worked on those other parts of his game. He's ineffective. He's just out there now. He's
tough.
ineffective.
That's tough, man. You don't want that. He definitely hindsight is 2020. We about to get to that. It's a great segue. He's definitely looking like it would be that part of the season where Shedeur could have taken over if he would have taken that pick, and we could have let Lamar rest a little bit. Shedeur might have been able to carry them through, you know, this part of the season, get him some reps. And this is not taking anything away from Shedeur, who might be a starter for Cleveland, something like that. All I'm saying is, you can tell Lamar's playing for a team who is looking at that window and it's closing. And that's why he out there. He's looking like, I was battling with Josh and I'm battling with Patrick. I'm supposed to be up there too. Now, desperation has me out here trying to keep up with Josh. And we just said, Patrick and them, they cool. You know, you can take your little break and come back. You know, but you're looking like your window closing, and that's why you out there too early. So, you know, a person like Shedeur could have been, you know, the bridge in between that. Let you get 4 weeks instead of 3. Because you can tell, you know, just like they asked Cap, are you injured or are you hurt?
Yeah, hurt.
He hurt. He most definitely hurt. Now, moving on to Shedeur. Because this is really the question. Is Jerry Jeudy expendable in Cleveland? Shout out to Stephen A. Smith Sr., who looking like he knew what he was talking about when he said what he said about that young man in Denver. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think he's expendable. He's had 2 weeks in a row of showing immaturity, showing non-professionalism, and this past week trying to show up as young quarterback who's trying to figure it out. You're a veteran. You're supposed to be there for him to lean on and if nothing else, talk him up. Hey man, you got this. You got this. Hey, just let it come to you. You got this. You got this. Not, hey, throw me the ball or this. Jeudy is expendable. Jeudy is looking like he might be Braylon. I don't even want to say Braylon Edwards because Braylon did have one good year. But yeah. But Jeudy is not. I don't think he's good for Shedeur. I don't think he's good for Gabriel, because if Gabriel comes back and gets in and starts having difficulties, he's going to do the same thing. And if the coaching staff or nobody else on the team, it's going to put him in check, he's going to look at it as, hey, I can do this and get away with it, and he'll keep it up. You don't need anybody, particularly a wide receiver, coming in chirping at a quarterback, especially a young quarterback making his second start and his third game he's played in, chirping at him and basically getting him out of focus of what he needs to do. And you know, I give Shedeur credit for not snapping back and doing all of that. And I can't remember what his name was, but his teammate who came over and moved him away from Shedeur.
I know it was center. Yeah.
And moved him out of the way, like, hey man, So yeah, but he's definitely expendable.
I wow. Two things can be right at the same time because I don't agree with the cameras on and Shadur being the hashtag that he is. That was smart.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely wasn't mature. I think no, I may be giving him I may be giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think it was a passionate discussion that was had in the wrong place because I think the young man from I think Judy is seeing or really understanding the fact that he is expendable and it's getting to him. And he's in Cleveland. He was in Denver, kind of doing the same thing, and he needs this run. The unfortunate side of this run is he's leading the league with 9 drops. That's a smoke and mirror stat because he's probably leading the league in starting quarterbacks this year too. So I think he's had like 5, and
But he's dropping passes from all of them, so he's an
he,
equal opportunity dropper.
and I guess what I'm saying, DeAndre Hopkins might come in and say, "What are you talking about, KD? I ain't dropped." My thing is, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's just getting different timing with people and all of that stuff. So maybe of those 9, 3 of them might not actually be him. And this is not to his credit, but when you look at that 9 drops, CeeDee Lamb is 2 down from him with 7. Amon St. Brown is 2 down from him with 7. McMillan is 2 down from him with 7. Christian McCaffrey is 2 down from him with 7. So big names drop balls too. But the production that they put together
right
is consistent with the quarterback. So it's I'm trying to just say not a good look. I just do believe he understands that he could be expendable, and you're gonna be out here. You too high of a pick to be looking like Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah.
Now we're like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he did play with him. I believe he was on the opposite side. God bless the young man's situation, but people are like Jerry Jeudy, like career wise, you were actually on the field and you've done and you haven't done your stats ain't that far from Henry Ruggs.
Yeah, you looking like Kadarius Toney.
Like exactly. So we're trying to salvage something here. You're going out like Kelvin Benjamin, bro, without the weight gain, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, he needs to be focused on what he needs to do, and
focus on figuring out how you and Shadur. I don't like the fact that they hyping it up because I believe it was a discussion. I'm just gonna say it was a discussion at the wrong time. You're not at diva status yet.
Yeah, you don't have the position on the team or in the league to be able to do that and get away with it.
So that brings me to this question. Oh no, it kind of, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and ask. Who was your turkey of the week?
The Pittsburgh Steelers is a whole turkey farm, not just one individual, a whole turkey farm, because that goes for offense, defense, special team, and the whole coaching staff. When it was so bad that they booed Renegade when they started playing it in the fourth quarter. They always play Renegade by sticks in the fourth quarter to let you know, hey, it's time to crank it up again. They booed. They did it when they booed Renegade. It's the equivalent of booing a DJ at a party.
So they skipped the record. Somebody bumped into it.
No, they wanted them to skip it. They booed Renegade, and then they started the Fire Tomlin chant, and they did it Fire Tomlin, Fire Tomlin. The whole team, the team and the coaching staff was my turkey farm of this past weekend.
So the whole team, the whole team got the turkey.
As the kids say, they were cheeks.
My turkey of the week was last Thursday.
Yeah, that includes, yeah.
So it is included.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We didn't eat turkey this Thanksgiving, even though we had legs at the end of the game. We ate bald eagle. And I shouldn't be saying that too loudly because that is the United States national bird, and it's an endangered species that they say may be extinct. Quite the metaphor. Because my turkey of the week is the Philadelphia Eagles. Golly.
The Eagles.
Do I give it up to the? Yeah, I'm gonna say the team. Y'all, we spotted y'all 21 points, and you said, "Cool." All that Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Cooper DeJean, Quinion, what's his last name? Quinion
Mitchell.
Dora Jackson, Quinion Mitchell. All that. AJ had a good game. Devontae caught his ball. I don't know y'all out, but boy, y'all did all that. And y'all let the Cowboys walk y'all down. It was like the perfect. That was just the Raiders, y'all. We told y'all that was just the Raiders. You had it sitting right in your pocket, and you let us off the hook.
Snatch victory out the.
Oh, you let us off the hook. I could have gave it to Kansas City too for that interception, but I ain't gonna do that. It was still within the week. My turkey of the week is the Philadelphia Eagles. Straight up. 21 spot? 21 both. when you playing Madden. Get up.
Yeah, get up the sticks.
Give up the sticks. Not the drumsticks. The stick. Give up the sticks.
So both NFL teams from the state of Philadelphia, not a player, but the whole team.
Oh,
were
yeah,
turkeys.
The whole state of Philadelphia got, oh my God. Wow. I didn't even think at it like that. Straight turkey of the week. Now, for my final question as we move into this last hour. Wow. Kind of over a little bit, but it's all good. We here. Rocking and rolling. Hold on, I want to make sure I get this question right. is the increase. I do want to know how. I do want to know your thoughts on this, because we was talking about. It's funny I'm segueing into this because I was just talking about Madden and the sticks. Is the increasing trend of going for it on 4th down good for the game?
I think that it's a matter of some coaches being stupid. Who was that? Who went for it on? It was the Browns, I think. Went for it on 4th and short on their side of the field, inside their own 20. You can't. It needs to be calculated. These guys, they're going, oh well, we're just gonna tush push it. Now everybody trying to do the tush push with guys who had never even taken a snap.
They don't have tush push personnel, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go for it. Cleveland. We're gonna put our tight end who ain't never took a rookie tight end who hadn't taken a snap. We're gonna let him do the tush push. Pittsburgh had one of the slowest developing tush pushes in the history of tushing and pushing.
Tushing and pushing. Push.
I mean, even I'm not one of those guys who believes in the analytics, because there's a whole lot more than just percentages for teams. But you got all these guys, teams deciding to go for it on 4th, and they don't make it. They wind up losing games, or you wind up putting your defense in a disadvantage because now they're on their side of the field trying to defend their goal line when all you had to do was punt it. I think it hurts your defense, and it does. I think it does hurt the game, because when it works, oh, that was brilliant. But when it doesn't, okay, that was stupid. Why are you going for it? I think these coaches are giving in to, well, so and so is going for it all the time, so I'm going to go for it too. No, play the percentages, play football, play smart, and punt the ball and let your defense come out there and take care of things. Because eventually your defense gets tired. Wait a minute, they going for it again. Now, they went for it twice already, and we gave up 14 points. Now he's doing it again. If we don't hold, it's 21 points we're giving up, when all they had to do is trot this thing kicker out, this punter out, who only comes out maybe 5 times a game, do a job 5 times a game, but you steadily going for it. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. I think it's bad for the game. I think it's bad coaching, and I think it helps lead teams to defeat and not victory.
Guys out here, they out here going for it on 4th and field goal range.
Yeah, take the damn points.
So, I'm gonna say this as my answer to that. Shout out to Las Vegas, because I think they got something to do with that. I'm just saying. But having said all that, it does add a little unpredictability to the game, because we as fans are looking for we've gotten used to the game being predictable. The issue is with going forward on 4th is hindsight is 2020. This is not Madden. And you look like a genius when you make it, because Patrick Mahomes going forward on 4th, making that touchdown was good, and they needed it. They were in a position where it made sense. Cowboys against the Raiders 2 weeks ago, even though they had a lead, went forward on 4th, dropped the ball. You look brainless when you do it. So it's one of those 50-50 things where we are used to going forward on 4th down territory, drive, trying to drive to win. That's what we're used to. Momentum changer. it's kind of like going for it on fourth has become the onside kick in the second quarter after you score a touchdown. It's catching by surprise. You know, I've never seen people who are actually going for it on fourth, and I'm not believing that they're about to try to draw somebody offside. They're really going for it on fourth. This man in motion. So I'm 50-50. I'm 50-50 because it keeps the game intense.
Yeah, but you drive. Let's say you drive down the field 3 times, eating up clock, driving down the field, get to the 30, get stopped. It's fourth and 2. Hey, we got a basically an automatic kicker. He's gonna kick this 47-yarder. Let's go for it. We don't go for it. We go for it. We miss it. We don't make it. Now we've not only eaten clock, we've eaten clock, driven down there. Let's say you do that 3 times. You've eaten all that clock and come out with nothing. So instead of at least having 9 points, the other team has scored 3 touchdowns. So now it's scored. Let's say the other team has scored three field goals. Now you down 9-0 when it could have been 9-9 or a completely different ball game. Go for the points. Go for the points. If you're not in field goal range, punt it. Sometimes go for it, but it's increasing to where they want to keep going for it. It's 4th and 3 in the second quarter. They're down 3-0. Why are they going for it? I mean, it's just stupid.
And that's just the way it is, man. But if you can consistently make it, and you got the plays and you got the personnel, I don't know. I'm personally more the gamble is you get down there and get 6 and go for the 2. The 4th down thing, I'm 50-50. All right, now we have moved into that area of, well, before I do it, I have one. Do you have a impact player of the week like you had a turkey?
Yep.
All right. This is the segment we call Twins. It is this week's impact name or notable. This is where we at No Jazz, we pick a player that had a great game or some kind of impact play in a game, and we parallel their DNA with a player of yesteryear or the past. Now, this player of yesteryear or the past is not your normal marquee name that you're used to. They're a player of the past that you might have forgotten about. They got swept under the rug, who did a lot for his team, but his name is just not as high on the Legends of Football and in today's current highlight films and reels as those you know. Now, I'm going to go first because I think Tank went first last time.
Mm-hmm.
And my this week's twin this week's impact notable is, let me get that boy name right, Elijah Clark of the Dallas Cowboys, who hustle man, who ran down that field, hustle hard, like the way he was running and he was getting knocked down. It was Ace Hood. It was Ace Hood style, boy. I got to give you credit. He got knocked down. I think they call him a gunner.
Yeah.
Got knocked down, got up. Like that whole thing was like a metaphor for life. He got knocked down, got up. Oh, you weak. Boy, went and got him again. Got off the path of the ball. And it was during a very dramatic time and impactful time of the game on our comeback run. Went down there and did something Dallas hadn't done for a while. Created a turnover. Bam! And I'm talking about like it stick since we were on the going for it on fourth Madden theme. It was hit stick worthy. Hit stick worthy. And hold on, I want to get this man years right. Let me make sure I get it right. Because you're gonna like this name.
Okay.
All right. His twin is Steve Tasker of the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
Who was drafted by Houston in 1985 and then went on to play for the Buffalo Bills as we know it. He's a wide receiver from 1986 to 1997. During that time, he actually made first team. Ooh, wow. He actually made first team All-Pro, 7 Pro Bowls from 1987 to 1990 and 1995. But he was really mostly known for his feats on special teams. And the play that was made the other day put me in the mind of one Steve Tasker. So this is why I have chose Steve Tasker and my main man. He my main man, but Elijah Clark as my twins for this week.
Okay. That was pretty good.
I'm so Dallas out right now.
All right, I want to make sure I get this guy's name right. I keep messing it up. Now just getting stuck. But anyway, my twin for this week is the grandson, I think the uncle. He's the nephew. I think the great nephew of Hank Aaron. Kamani. I'm finna mess his name up. Plays for the Los Angeles Chargers. And my screen is frozen, so I can't pull his name up to pronounce it right. Vidal. His last name is Vidal. Kamani Vidal.
Shout out to Kwame's son.
Yeah.
Out of FAMU. All right. What's up?
Yeah, Kamani Vidal.
Okay.
It's my ripped off a nice long run for the Chargers this past weekend, and he put up 500 something yards this year. He's short and stocky, but he runs with power. He's wearing number 30, and I'm watching that, and I was like, man, he kind of like Natron back there, but there wasn't it. But because of his stature, he, like I say, he's short and stocky. He's only like 5'10", 5'9". He's stocky, but he's still a small guy. But he runs hard. He catches a little. He runs hard. He's north-south. It's not a lot of wasted motion, and he gets it. Once he gets the ball,
he get going.
He's taking off. Yeah, he's running hard. Doing a lot more with what he's got than what you would expect. So that leads me to his twin, who was 5'9", 188 pounds, who was stocky also, and who would hit the hole hard, was very tough, was hard to bring down, and kept pounding and pounding. Came from the Citadel. He was drafted in the 9th round by the St. Louis Cardinals. So that tells you how long ago that was. His career total for rushing yards was 4,649 yards, 32 touchdowns. I'm talking about someone who is now a running back coach in the NFL, who was paired with, who really took over after O.J. Anderson left. I'm talking about Stump Mitchell.
When you were saying it, I said now like St. Louis Cardinals. Stump Mitchell. Okay, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Stump Mitchell.
Number
Stump
30.
Mitchell. Yeah. Stump
Go ahead.
Mitchell was a good running back. He was dependable. He was always there. He put up 1,000 yards in 1985. That was his only 1,000-yard season, but he was good for usually around 600 some yards a season. So he wasn't a great back, but he was a good, reliable back for those Cardinals teams back then. He averaged almost 5 yards a carry for his career, so it tells you he was productive when he got his hands on the ball. So my twins for this week: Stump Mitchell and Kimani Vidal.
Shout out now. Shout out. Shout out. We now have the twins for this week. Mine, Elijah Clark and Steve Tasker, and Kimani Vidal and Stump Mitchell. Shout out. Impact notable. First of all, I definitely got to put that on. I definitely got to put those up. I'm gonna tell you what. Both of those hit home to me. A tear almost about to drop out my eye. Cause that's Florida A&M FAMU son. That's Kwame's son. You know, that's Kwame's son. We root for Kwame, son. We around here root for Kwame, son. Shout out to Kwame. We root for your son. We do. We really do. And 1985, man. Back in high school. You know what? Actually, my older cousin was still in high school. I'm still probably in 6th, 7th grade. I think my cousin had a teacher. And this just sticks out in my mind. Because he was excited about this for some reason. And this is when I started watching him. He came home one day and was like, yeah, man, my substitute teacher, said she dates Stump Mitchell. And that stuck in my young mind. I went and watched him. And Stump Mitchell was running good. That they did, you know, this St. Louis Cardinals days when they were still in the NFC East. You know, so Stump Mitchell, that's all right. But you know what? When you were saying the name, I like I said, he's talking about Stump. That's all right, man. Stump Mitchell. Shout out to those guys being this week's Impact notables and names for this week. Now, as we are about to close, we're gonna do what we do and ask Tank if he has any final words.
I got one.
Okay.
I have some final words.
Okay.
Allow me to be get off my lawn guy for a moment.
Okay.
I was scrolling on the Ticker Talker and came across a post that asked the question: is Stevie Wonder the greatest R&B songwriter ever? Artist ever? So I'm like, hey, Stevie's strong now. I mean, you know, that's not one of those, heck no, you throw it away. If you know music, if you know Stevie. So I'm strolling through, and one person made this comment of saying, well, Stevie is okay. Stevie hasn't never really made R&B music. That got me. And said, and besides, Usher and Chris Brown have been around going on 30 years, so in their catalog. So I mean, Stevie couldn't possibly be in that category at all. And so I'm looking, I'm reading, and my mind's going like this. And I got all kinds of thoughts of wanting to do something to this person. And I say, let me go and let me click on this person's picture, see who they are, because they got to be in their 30s or younger. And sure enough, this person's probably in their 30s, probably in their mid 30s. And I said, so I went back, and I just it did something. It irked my spirit so bad that I had to say something. I said, I'm assuming that you're in your 30s or your 20s, because you obviously have no idea of who Stevie Wonder is, and you obviously have no idea what R&B and soul music is. I said, man, I suggest that you just go and listen to songs in the key of life. I don't have to go through, and I said, just listen to that. That's gonna tell you what R&B music is. I said, Stevie's been around since the 60s and was putting out hits for 3 decades, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And then every now and then, just to mess with us, he put something out in the 90s. He's not just a musical genius, he's a legit icon. I said that for you to have the audacity to compare and discount Stevie for Usher and Chris Brown is damn near a cultural crime. It's a felony. I said, please do your research before you speak on things of which you have no idea. I said, it didn't let me type anymore because my words ran out. So I went back and did some more. I said, for you to try to diminish anything about Stevie Wonder says you don't know anything about real music. Nobody has ever, to the best of my knowledge, ever said anything derogatory about Stevie, his talent, and his music. And I think you definitely aren't going to try to compare his catalog to these two. And I'm like, people, sometimes before you voice your opinion on something, and yes, it's your opinion, do some research on things before you speak on them instead of just shooting from the hip, because some of it just makes you look completely stupid.
What was the question again? Like best
songwriter? Stevie Wonder, is Stevie Wonder the best R&B artist?
Oh, R&B artist, not songwriter.
Yeah. Okay. R&B artist.
Gotcha.
Songwriter.
Oh, R&B artist and songwriter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that he is.
Yeah, you weren't saying that.
No. But when you bring out Chris Brown and Usher, you deserve to be slapped. You deserve to be kicked off the ticker tocker.
See, that's what's throwing me off.
Yeah.
I don't, and I'm not saying that they probably hadn't penned something, but the Usher and Chris penning something, part of that, then threw me for a loop.
They also mentioned catalog. They mentioned catalog, like they also mentioned the catalog, like their catalog exceeded Stevie's.
See, that's when you wasn't it back-to-back albums of the year?
Yeah.
Grammy. Songs in the Key of Life. And then
Stevie's Musicarium.
Like see, that's why, man, I try to give the youth grace and mercy, because I ask myself, if social media was out when I was their age, and somebody would have been saying, I'm just going to say in the 90s, somebody would have been saying something in the 90s, and they brought up the Temptations.
Mm-hmm.
Would I have said, man, you crazy? Mint Condition better than the Temptations, or they brought up this. I'm gonna go band for band. They brought up the Commodores or Earth, Wind, and Fire. What I have been Mint Condition better than them. You know, I'm asking myself, would I have been in the moment, not really knowing, because
I wouldn't have. I
don't
listened
think I
to a
would have,
whole bunch
because
of music. I wouldn't have, yeah.
musically, I didn't say that then. Like, that's unfathomable. That
Yeah.
y'all that but you know what that is? R&B so lost. I wouldn't say that about Mint Condition, because your mother, my mother, your father, my father, uncles, and everybody, we got the history of R&B before we start appreciating our own, even at the same time. You know, and like I was tripping on the girl who got on there and the video came on, Just Be Good to Me, and the other song they did in the SOS band, and the girl called her Pick Me. She has low self-esteem. Hey, what? You don't know what was going on back then, but I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it, man. I'm not gonna get into it. And I'm not gonna have any last words tonight, because I used up my last words on my first words on Keanu Reeves. Oh my goodness. At any rate, this has been the No Jazz Show, NOJASS. That stands for Not Just Another Sports Show. Thank you all for joining us. Make sure you like, comment, share, and definitely go to YouTube and subscribe. Definitely go to TikTok and subscribe, where you find us at No Jazz Show, NOJASSSHOW. Before I wait, I'm gonna do that run. Before I do that run, please make sure you give a shout out and check out our sponsors, Light Snack. Order all your food from Light Snack. Order all your Magic City wings from on Light Snack at Magic City. Order your Magic City wings. Don't forget to lick the sauce. Order those on Light Snack. And go to quickvisit.com for all your lingerie needs. Make sure you do that. We love you all for joining us. Make sure you check us out on Facebook on Tuesday nights at 10. Tuesday nights, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, The No Jazz Show, live on Riverside, live in the locker room, live on No Jazz Show, the page. Make sure you join the page and do all of those things for us. You know, am I missing something, Tank?
That's 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesdays. Right after, shout out. And you know what? Speaking of, I did watch that game before I came in. Shout out to a great game. And we'll get into that. Duke versus Florida right before we came on tonight. That was a great ending to a great game. Those young kids were balling. Number 15 versus number 4. That was a good game. I just want to give those kids a shout out. Boozer, Cameron, you something special, young man. You something special. But at any rate, this has been Nejo Jazz Show. So after saying all that, Tank, salute these people and tell them good night.
Good night, and check out Stevie before you start talking this.
I'm glad you said that, boy. I'm glad you said that. Blind in the mind. Yes, sir. But anyway,